Hello, dear Scorpio. I am Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your February 2022 horoscope. This is if you have Scorpio sun, moon, or rising sign. Of course, it's generalized, so please do consult a professional astrologer, myself or someone else, that can interpret your chart with you in these transits. But let's talk about what's happening here now that Venus is direct, and this is affecting your third house, and we have a new moon in Aquarius happening on the first of the month, and that will affect your fourth house. So you'll most likely kick off February thinking very seriously about ways in which you can improve your home, maybe make some additions to it, and ways that maybe you open your home and give it some broader perspective, maybe some others, maybe a lot of friends. You may start opening your home for socializing and all of that, especially if you felt like it was a bit delayed. I know we're still dealing with some pandemic stuff, but I would imagine that now you're ready to socialize a bit more. I sense that you'll have quite a bit of activity the month of February. And you also may find that you'll start thinking a little bit more and talking and discussing a little bit more about changes that can happen in your home. Now, some of these can be a long-term, long-range plan, but you may start thinking about that and talking with others and having really good discussions with it. There's also an indication here that you may take on some form of learning, or if you're a teacher, you're looking at ways in which you can now teach your audience in a very calculated, concise kind of way. The new moon is about setting intentions, or at least having some deep contemplation. However, this particular new moon in Aquarius doesn't feel quite as heavy or serious, even though Mercury is still retrograde during this time in Capricorn. But I sense that the intentions you may be setting is more around who and what will help me to feel really secure here. I need to feel safe and secure. This is my private protective space. This is my family. This is the place I belong. And it may have a bit of an unusual objective view, and you haven't been able to think much about it. Maybe you've been caught up in a whirlwind of energy and conversations, and maybe there's been a lot of internalizing with Venus being retrograde all of January. And now you're setting that intention to say, if I had to make an announcement, or if I had to open these doors, who would I want in here? What would I want to say? How do I want to say it? I sense there was a lot of planning that was taking place, some behind the scenes stuff. And so I would offer that if you can hold off until Mercury stations direct on the 4th, and maybe even 10 days after, to make any formalized plans or announcements, that's a good time to do it. But if you are canoodling around it, I should say noodling on it. I like the word canoodle because Venus and Mars are canoodling, but I'll get to that in a second. If you've been noodling on something quiet in your life, something private, then and you want to make an announcement, you want to release maybe a publication, you want to start a new course or a certification, you're looking for drawing into ways in which you can do more learning and socializing, I would say second half of February would be better for you. Use the first half to continue to enjoy that quiet time. However, that doesn't mean you won't be busy or having conversation. I just sense that your busyness or conversations will be more with your core group, the ones that you've already established as being your home people, your beloveds. Venus and Mars will be canoodling all month, and they make an exact conjunction on Valentine's Day, but I'll talk about that in a second. But Venus and Mars canoodling in that third house will give you that drive and motivation to get, say, outlines together, curriculums together, or gathering your syllabus, getting ready for maybe spring term. Or if you are, like I say, a teacher himself or herself, then what you may find is ways in which you can add a little bit more, not necessarily seriousness, even though we're dealing with Capricorn, ways in which you can build the minds of others over time. That's a wonderful way of looking at this third house with the Capricorn energy here. Now, this also, let's talk about relationships, because we are dealing with Venus and Mars, Mars sex, Venus pleasure, how we give and receive love. And romance is always something that people enjoy because it makes us feel good. So I would say that you will probably have some pretty serious discussions if you are attached to somebody or you've been dating somebody. You probably have some pretty serious discussions about what your future will look like. and what you ultimately want next for the relationship. There is a small indication here of a make or break if it's been a casual relationship and you're just like, nah, I don't really see a future with this person. You may have some serious discussions around that in the relationship, but you can find a new one pretty quickly as well. The other piece of this, and the reason I say that you could find another one quickly is that with Venus and Mars here, it activates that double magnetism. And so you could find yourself pretty charming. So it'd be easy for you to attract somebody new. If you are deciding that you want to stay serious with this person or you're in a bonded relationship, you will probably attract quite a few people who want to have something flirtatious with you. Do watch out for that and make sure you have your values in place and if integrity is one of them, then stay in alignment with that. Because I do see the big word here for you in the month of February is temptation. That's the shadow. I sense there'll be a lot of temptation going on. Temptation doesn't necessarily have to be romance, where there could be a third party situation, but there could be a temptation around overindulgence. There could be a temptation around spending too much money, especially as we're dealing with Venus and Mars here. But most likely, I sense that the temptation in a positive way would be to work really hard to achieve certain goals in your life, and doing this in a way that can be very forceful. You're not going to have your mind made up by anybody but you. I sense that once you make your mind up, it's done. That's what this month is about. And once you make those decisions, and I sense especially after Mercury stations direct, you're going to be so laser focused on this is what I want, this is how I want it, why I want it, and nothing's going to stop me from getting it. So Scorpio, I invite you to do this. Take time, especially at the beginning of the month with that new moon energy, and really get clear. What is it that I ultimately want next in my life? And then how do I actually achieve it? And that's what you're going to be working towards this month. The next piece of this, Scorpio, is that we are going to have the sun canoodling with Saturn in that fourth house on February 3rd, Mercury canoodling Pluto in your third house. So I also will say that there's going to be some pretty strong, intense conversations, decisions that you're going to be making around this time, though you may wait to make an announcement. Let's say around February 14th, Valentine's Day, when Mercury re-enters Aquarius in that fourth house, you may then decide this is the time for me not only to declare my love, but to declare my decisions about things. And when I say declare love, it doesn't necessarily mean that everybody's single declaring love on Valentine's Day. It could be that you're in a bonded relationship and you're just saying, these are my decisions now that I'm making, and this is what I want to happen. And it can be very forceful. But here's the thing, you're ruled by Pluto. So you're used to this forcefulness. You're used to that deeper kind of heavier discussions and decisions and the power that's there. And the invitation is to not power over somebody, but to use your power for the goodness that you are, for the things that you want, that drives you, because you're passionate about, you've made a decision about what you need in order to feel good, in order to progress your life. It's your journey. Now, the invitation is to open yourself up for collaboration. But honestly, this month is more about you being able to say, I've made up my mind and nothing's going to stop me from getting it. Full moon in Leo, Venus and Mars canoodling on, and this is going to activate your 4th and 10th house. So again, this tells me that your private and public life are going to be pretty active. You may, again, declare something that you push out into the world that you've been holding really private, that says, here is my self, here's my reputation, here's my legacy that I want to leave behind. Some of you may be dealing with father things, father issues. Maybe there's a father that exits your life. It may be that a father blesses your life, somebody in authority as well, because we're dealing with Leo here in that 10th house. And so you may find yourself in a place where you are so blessed by someone who sees you as being a wonderful Scorpio that you are, and they would go out of their way to help you, and they become the advocate for you, the influencer. Maybe you are put into a position of authority at this time if you've been working really hard towards something along those lines. It can also offer that maybe there is some indication of a heart issue. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean physical heart. It could be matters of the heart. Again, more releasing. It's a full moon, opening yourself up and saying and declaring, this is what is important to me. That's what I will say. 10th house is all about this is what's important to me. And this is how I want people to see me. This is the legacy I want to leave behind. There's a leadership aspect here. If you've been in a leadership role, you may expand upon that, or you may decide to leave that one for another one. You can also find that somebody in authority or a leader themselves may leave your life at this time. Now we have the sun entering Pisces, activating your 5th house on February 18th, telling me even more that your pleasure is important. This makes a natural trine to your sun, moon, or rising sign. And I do sense that you can, if you're single, Scorpio, you can attract some fun here. You can, a fun person, but somebody who maybe is in healing. The relationship itself can be a very healing relationship. There's compassion here. You may find that if you're in a bonded relationship, or you've taken your relationship into a more serious state, that this gives you an opportunity to heal maybe some old wounds, or to be the healer for that person. Not all relationships have to be just for fun. They can also be for healing. And that, I sense, especially for you single Scorpios, it's going to be a beautiful thing. So definitely second half of February, get out, socialize, give yourself permission to be set up, maybe find an online dating app that resonates with you, something along those lines. If it's not a romance that you're looking at, then look at your life and say, what is it that would give me pleasure? Maybe it's a pastime that you enjoy doing. Somebody like myself who just took up skiing. I love to ski now. And so that would give me great pleasure to invest more into that. And that also may be where I find some healing, being outside in nature for sure. And I will offer that with the sun here, it's going to energize you. It's going to give you some good oomph and beauty. And also think of this, Pisces loves to be in the waters of imagination. So give yourself time to daydream. Just be careful you don't go to the other side of that where you are checked out and you're not able to get anything done. But I have a feeling that this is actually going to offer that if you've put yourself out there into the world and said, these are my gifts, this is the way I'm in, the things that I want to share that I've learned, these are the things I want to teach, that people will resonate with it. And as with the sun here in Pisces, it can very much attract to you new clients, new ways of being. It makes people just naturally flock to you. So don't be shy this month. Be bold, especially after Mercury goes direct February 4th. So the entire month of February, make your declarations, push your products out there, expose your business so you can attract new clients, really set yourself up as that expert. If you need to take on new learning, then do so, and give yourself permission to make those declarations to the people that you care about, how much you care about them. And don't be shy about it. Really just give yourself over to the process of vulnerability and intimacy, which is something that isn't easy because trust is important there. But I sense that you may be in this place of like, you know what, I have nothing to lose. Why not? Let's just put it out there. All right, Scorpio, I really hope this helps. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Come find me at jamiedawn.com. I want to hear how bold and daring you are this month. Take care.